I think that for us, Zelensky has been started out as a fascination, and as time has gone on, I don't think we ever anticipated he would become the person that he's become. We certainly saw him as a David versus Goliath character, in that he had a big job ahead of him. He had the impending conflict in the East, but I think much like the David and Goliath story, he's proved to be very nimble, and he's proved to be much more wily than the kind of older Goliath that Putin has become. And so I think for that, our David and Goliath story that we intended to make changed, but it's still very much the same story.
It seems very clear that the word propaganda can be used, as a disparagement. What I would say as part of showing the truth of Ukraine's absolute unity in pursuing all those things that without which life is not worth living, then I'm very happy to be considered a propagandist, and I'd like to, we made a very unapologetically biased film because that was the true story we found.
It was never going to be the definitive movie about war or about Russia. It was really our experience, having not really been very well educated about Ukraine, not really fully understanding the texture of what had come before this, what were the things that led up to this. We had a very shallow, United States focused view of the region. So what our movie became was our journey to find those truths. Yeah. So I don't, as far as propaganda or not propaganda, I don't even know how to answer that, because to us, the movie that's up there that's true is our movie of what we encountered in our experiences going over there.
It was sort of, in a sense, we were trying to humbly offer people a piggyback ride along the journey we took.
We had started a Zelensky documentary that in 2019 that was more of just a human interest study of this, comedic actor turned president. Sergei Bespalov, another producer, and I, during COVID, we kind of lost the funding, lost everything, lost the ability to travel. Sean and I had been talking, and Sean was very intrigued, even at this point, with who Zelensky was.
As far as the film being a kind of an entryway into the conversation, I think that was always on our mind. We looked at the coverage in the U.S., saw that it was, very shallow. A lot of times it's about, should America be supporting Ukraine or not? Should we give them more money or not? And that's the conversation back and forth. And then you add in talking heads yelling at each other about that, and they never really go deeper to go, well, what's really behind this? What is this? If you ask a lot of people, they don't understand really what the conflict is about. They'll refer to this as a civil war or something else that's outside of actually what is behind this invasion. So I think getting people to a base level of understanding of why this has happened, what the details are around it, I think it would be helpful for them to understand what helping or not helping Ukraine really means.
A day will come where none of these conflicts end in war. They end in talking, and it's going to have to happen. It's going to have to happen with very strong demonstrations of the existing Ukrainian demand for freedom and sovereignty in their territories. Once the architecture is in place for that, perhaps there'll be a brief discussion with the war criminal to whom you refer. In the meantime, I'm more concerned with, it's a very odd time when what the most significant humanitarian response that can happen right now is the delivery and supply of long-range precision missiles to a country under invasion, a country that owns all of the dreams and aspirations that, as I've said in the film, that we all share, that all movies share. Movies, about the better us, and we find that in Ukraine. We know from anthropologists that community is the answer to longevity. The Ukrainians are at the epicenter of community of care. And so I think what I take back is, is that growing up in the United States, we have, and this won't be news to you, we are born with a misguided sense of exceptionalism, which is not to say that there isn't a lot of things that are exceptional about the country, but it can allow us to get to minimalize or to normalize something less than community, something less than care and kindness. And at the heart of their frontline battle is that they are. It's one of the big differences between what so many of the Russian forces and certainly the Wagner forces are doing with an attitude toward atrocity. These people are doing what they have to do simply because they love their country and they love each other. And so the lesson is simple, and we should all honor them by doing our best to follow it. And it will be an imperfect road, but I think that's the biggest takeaway.